Well, they're going to try again.
Yay.
Exorcist sequel again. Alan, if you would.
Yes, David Gordon Green's planned The Exorcist trilogy, which begins with a poorly received The Exorcist Believer is No More, with Blumhouse pivoting down a bold new path instead. Mike Flanagan will be directing the next installment of the franchise for Blumhouse and Morgan Creek, and it's already been dated for a theatrical release March 13th, 2026. What day of the week do you think that is?
It's Friday the 13th.
Yes. While plot details are currently under wraps, the new film will tell an all-new story set in the Exorcist universe, and it's definitely not a sequel to last year's The Exorcist Believer. Flanagan's feature is said to be a radical new take on the franchise, as he teases his vision for the franchise's big screen return with a new chat with Hollywood Reporter. "We're making this easy on ourselves," Flanagan tells the site. But I've always felt that there's no point in going into a franchise or into a property that monolithic unless there's something new you can bring to it. I chased The Exorcist very aggressively because I was convinced I had something that I could add. He continues, "This is an opportunity to do something that I believe has never been done within a franchise. Something that honors what came before it, but isn't built on nostalgia. I really just saw an opportunity to make the scariest movie I've ever made. I know expectations are high. No one's more intimidated than I am." And then previously in a statement, Flanagan says, "The Exorcist is one of the reasons I became a filmmaker, and it is an honor to have the chance to try something fresh, bold, and terrifying within its universe. Reuniting with my friends at Blumhouse, with whom I've made some of my favorite pieces of work, only makes this more exciting."
We'll see. That attempt to reignite the Exorcist franchise, if it is one, was awful. I think you and I both saw it. Were underwhelmed. It performed terribly at the box office. It had kind of a teaser for a sequel. I don't know, is this going to be a sequel to that first film? Is it going to be a hard reboot, start from scratch? Who knows? But I will say this, having followed Blumhouse, they know what they're doing. I think they've got a good handle on horror, and they hit more often than they miss. So the fact that they're taking their time and they've got a new direction, new director, I think is a good thing. But not every hit movie is a franchise. So I will remain skeptical, but if it's coming out from Blumhouse, I'll be there.
Yeah, according to the article, it looks like it's a reboot, and that it is not a sequel to last year's The Exorcist Believer.
So it's a hard reboot.
Hard reboot. And he's saying he's telling the story that the whole article says is that he is going to retell the story, but add his take to it, which, we'll see. Chances are he'll ruin it with his new take.